right, we'll just start out easy. Just how has spring training been for you this year, and what have you been working on?
Oh yeah, so far it's been a lot of fun getting all the guys back here. Can't beat the good weather when we've gotten a lot of rain and cold back home. So, but yeah, so far just it's been good. Trying to continue to get better. I feel like I got a lot of things I can build off from last year, and hopefully I can take it into this year.
Yeah, I mean, what do you take away from last year, having just such a solid season with more than 20 wins? I mean, what are you really trying to hone in on that you can repeat this year?
I think just maintaining the confidence for one. I feel like last year was by far my most confident season, so I want to take that in again this year. I feel like that was the big separator for me, and just trusting my stuff and attacking the strike zone. So that's going to be something that I'm continuing to work on this year, and know that I'm capable enough to pitch at this league. And I think there's a lot of things that I kind of left on the table last year. I feel like there's a couple starts that got away from me that could have been better. So I feel like there's still a lot of things that I can clean up too to be even better. So that's my goal so far.
When it comes to the confidence, is that something that you're working with? Is it more mechanically? Is it a little mental? Are you doing a little bit of both? What are you kind of doing to keep that confidence going?
Definitely, I would say both. I've worked a lot on the mental side of things. Our mental performance coach, Zach Sorensen, he's helped me a lot really since 2020 and kind of getting back to where I want to be confidence-wise. And then mechanically, there's always things that we can fine-tune. And I feel like now I know what I need to do mechanically and pitch usage and all that. So now I'm just trying to stay on top of that and try to repeat that as much as possible.
You just said like working with the team mental coach. What does that look like? Is it visualization? Like what kind of things do you do?
Honestly, it's just more so we kind of talk about things. So the big thing that we do is we call it well, better, how, and it's really the best way to evaluate outings. So I look at what I do well, how am I going to be better, and how am I going to do it. And that for me has allowed me to move on from outings, whether it's a good start, bad start. I take what I need to take from the game and move on. So whereas before, I'd always kind of struggle with holding on things for too long and taking bad outings into the next one, and then things just kind of spiral. So for me, that's been a really big thing that we've done together that has helped me kind of move on and I think continue to grow as a pitcher.
So I can probably fill in the well with 20 wins. What are the better and the how as you enter spring training?
So honestly, I don't know if I've even looked at it from a whole perspective because we just do it game by game.
Okay.
I think better. There was, like I said, there was a lot of games last year that kind of got away from me that I feel like, pitch here, pitch there, that I really could have changed things. I guess how is just, staying on top of what I think I do well, continue to trust my stuff, maintain confidence, and, just pitch.
Is that something that you would do after every single game? Like, is it a journal? Is it a piece of paper that you write down and then move on? What does that kind of look like?
So we started off, I started doing journaling, but honestly, I think I liked more so just talking it with him because he's really good at finding different things that I didn't think about. It's just a different perspective. So for me, I enjoy just talking to him, and that's probably the best way for me to, kind of get off my chest and move on. It's good to have things written down so you can go back and look at it, but sometimes, for me, this is me personally, I can go back and see things I didn't necessarily like that, can still kind of bring in, bad memories from outings or certain things. So just talking through it kind of helps me move on from outing to outing.
What was it like just to get back with your dad during the offseason and just kind of reflect on what a 21 season meant to you and him?
Yeah, it was really cool. My dad, he was my coach from, when I started baseball all the way through high school, and, I still talk to him now because he knows his stuff. But, for him, it was really special, I think, to see that because, he obviously was right there with me through all my struggles. So for him and the rest of my family, they were just so happy and, excited for the great season. And I think it probably finally took a little bit of pressure off them. They can quit sitting on the edge of their seats so much every outing. So hopefully that helped a little bit. But, it was great to kind of, just reflect on that season and share it with them.
Well, super basic, but as you continue throughout your career, what have you learned about spring training and how to kind of pace yourself to be ready when you're supposed to be ready? How has that worked for you?
Yeah. I think when I first started coming in spring, it was always, guns a-blazing from the start, trying to make a team, which, I think that's important to come in ready, but at the same time, spring training is very long. So if you come in, too hot out of the gates and you just kind of feel like you deteriorate a little bit quicker towards the end. So I think sometimes I've made that mistake of trying to do things too fast and get ahead of myself, where last year I think was the first time that I really looked at what do I need to do well. I'd always talk about that, but last year was the first year I'd actually buy into it and, do what I need to do to prepare. And I feel like that was the biggest thing for me is, we all run our own race, and I think that's the most important thing we can do.
What have you kind of seen so far maybe from Ian Anderson, who's competing for that kind of fifth spot?
You know, Ian is very confident. He's very poised. I feel like he's well mature beyond his age. I saw him throw live the other day, and I thought his stuff looked great. Ball's coming out really good. And he just, like I said, he has very good control and command of what he wants to do, and he knows who he is as a pitcher. And I think he's identified what he needs to do well. And so far, he's been doing everything right. So I'm really excited for him this year.
You kind of had time to think about it now, the winningest pitcher in all of the league last year. Like, do you feel like that was, like, you were the guy who had the most, like, was something different? Did you feel like that at the end of the season?
You know, I don't know. I think that stat as a pitcher is really cool, but, you know, it's really a team stat, I think. And for me, it was really cool because it is the ultimate team stat, you know. Wins and losses, that's how you evaluate a team. So for me to share that and, you know, kind of take that with my team was pretty special. And you know, I don't know if I necessarily felt like that, but I just felt like, wow, I finally had a good year. So I think I was just more so relieved in that, and then to see that was definitely special. But you know, I think it just kind of gives me something to work forward this year.
Are you, I don't know, in your mind, do you think maybe you could be the team's ace this year? I mean, is that something that you come in with that mentality as well, that you could be the number one?
You know, I don't look too far into that really. You know, quite frankly, I have two guys that are better than I am. But you know, I think, again, it's about running your own race. You know, I just want to do what I can do, the game I pitch. You know, I don't have to be better than anyone. I just have to be the best that day that I pitch, and you know, that's my goal every time I take the mound.
And just real quick thoughts on the pitch clock. Like, how's that been with, you know, working with that, and kind of your thoughts on the step offs and pick-offs and things like that?
It's definitely a bit of a change, but Craney actually showed me my average times from last year, and I was under the threshold both out of the windup and out of the stretch, so I don't think I have to worry about it too much. I think there'll be times out of the stretch when you really try to slow the game down. That's when you have to be more cognizant of it. But fortunately, my normal pace is pretty good, so hopefully I don't have to worry too much about it.
Overall, just expectation for this rotation. I mean, you had born 20 wins. You have a Cy Young runner-up. I mean, what do you think this rotation can do this year?
I think the sky's the limit. We have a lot of talent, and it's not just, you know, for the first 5 guys that are going to make the roster. We're going to have other guys that we're going to need to. And, you know, those guys are really talented as well. You know, we don't know how things are going to shake up, but I'm really excited for everyone this year, and I think it'll be a lot of fun to watch.
Any young guys we should be watching out for? Anyone you can kind of point out that you think has been good so far?
All of them. You know, I think Bryce Elder, we obviously saw what he could do last year, but again, he's very mature. He knows his game, and he pitches to it. So anytime he takes him out, I'm always excited to watch.
Even without the beard, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. I first met him without the beard, so that's who I know him better as.
It's a snip like some of them too.
Yeah. Yeah.